The planet, not just a rock in space, but a colossal, self-regulating mechanism. 4.5 billion years of history, where life originated, perished, and was reborn. It survived meteorites, ice ages, continental shifts, and each time it found a way to renew itself, to heal, to recover. We were just one species to emerge on its surface. We witnessed its sunrises, its oceans, its mountains that seemed eternal. Earth gave us air, water, warmth. It provided us with everything needed for existence. And it did so, asking nothing in return. Only one thing, that we understand its fragility. But we forgot about fragility. We saw the planet as a resource, not a home. The drill's hammer drowned out the wind's whisper. The roar of factories silenced the crash of waves. We extracted its depths, poisoned its waters, released smoke and toxins into its atmosphere as if it were an endless dump. We ignored the warning signs. Melting ice, hurricanes of unprecedented power, disappearing species. The planet sent signals, but our eyes were glued to screens and our ears to the jingle of coins. We thought we controlled it, that our technological superiority transcended its natural laws. We were too busy with ourselves to notice Earth sighing tiredly. And then, the day came. The day when the planet's patience ran out, not from its natural cycles, but from our own hands. Little things turned luxuries. Stop. Try to remember not the grandeur of mountains, but the simplicity of a moment. The sound of rain on a windowsill. The taste of a ripe apple plucked straight from the branch. The warmth of sand under bare feet. We didn't value it because we thought it would last forever. We measured progress in megahertz and stock prices, forgetting that true wealth was the ability to just walk outside and take a deep breath without checking radiation levels or air toxicity. The planet that forgave. Earth was incredibly patient. We took everything from her, and she continued to give us sunsets that took our breath away. We built concrete boxes, closing ourselves off from her beauty, and turned on air conditioners, forgetting the natural coolness of the forests. We turned our home into a hotel where no one intended to clean up. We were guests who fancied ourselves owners, forgetting that we are but a part of this vast, complex, and beautiful system. We didn't value silence. We feared it, filling the void with the noise of machines and an endless stream of useless information. Bitter realization. Now, looking at what remains, we would give all the world's gold for one day in that boring past. For the chance to see a real blue horizon, not a gray haze of ash. For the sound of a real forest, not the hum of life support filters. We only understood the price of peace when the price tag was written in blood and soot. The most terrifying thing isn't that we lost the planet. The most terrifying thing is that until the very last moment, we believed we deserved it. Chaos and the streets. Silence was replaced by a hum that never ceased for a second. First, the economy collapsed, followed by the masks of civilization. City streets that shone with lights only yesterday turned into war zones. Peace rallies escalated into bloodbaths in a matter of hours. People no longer asked, they demanded, they took, they survived. Look at these faces. There is no more hope in their eyes, only primal fear. Governments declared curfews, but who follows them when tomorrow has ceased to exist? Order evaporated, leaving behind only the smell of smoke and the sound of breaking glass. The war machine. When words failed, the guns spoke. The earth shook from the march of millions of boots. This wasn't a war for ideals, it was a war for the last drop of clean water, for the last acre of fertile land, for the right to breathe. Armies built over decades finally received the order they had prepared for. The horizons were shrouded in smoke from burning refineries and warehouses. The skies over oceans were streaked by fighter jets. We turned the entire planet into a giant testing ground. No one remembered who fired first. It became irrelevant. All that mattered was that the machine of destruction had gained such momentum that no one could stop it. The point of no return. The final minute of the old world. Resources exhausted, diplomacy dead, and rage at its peak. Commanders in bunkers, trembling fingers over control panels. At this moment, Earth ceased to be a home. It became a target. We painted the crosshair on our own foreheads. The Earth plunged into darkness, even before the first blast, the darkness of the human soul. Chaos became the new normal. And when the final codes were entered, the world held its breath. It wasn't the end of an argument. It was the end of humanity as a terrestrial species. The day when the roar of engines heralded not flight, but a fall. The world didn't end because of a comet or a supernova. It ended because of us. A flash. It wasn't just light. It was the last deafening statement in our history, written in fire. Earth, which gave us life, took back what we threw at it. Death. It was silent while we destroyed. And then it silently watched as we destroyed each other. And now it is silent again, buried under the ashes of our ambitions, awaiting a new dawn that may never come. Fire and void. When the sky finally turned pitch black, the realization hit. Earth was no longer ours. Nuclear winter wasn't just a metaphor. It became a reality where the sun was but a dim smudge behind a wall of radioactive ash. Billions remained in that shadow forever. The planet that nurtured life for eons became a toxic trap. The Great Selection. Mars. Our last, desperate hope. But space is mathematics. And the math was cruel. Seats on the shuttles were measured in payload, not people. The most terrifying auction in history began. Selections weren't made by wealth, but by DNA, skills, and age. Millions were left behind to wait for their fate in the frozen ruins, knowing no one was coming back for them. One-way ticket. Those inside the ships didn't feel like winners. In the portholes, they saw the once blue marble turn into charcoal gray. No applause, only the heavy breathing of regeneration systems. It was a one-way ticket. We became nomads with no past. Red Dawn. And so Mars. A rusty desert and a sky the color of dried blood. This is where a new chapter begins. But it's not a story of heroes. It's a story of survivors clawing into dead soil. We aren't building a new paradise. We are building a last trench. The history of Mars is being written now by those who left their planet to die,